Charlie Sheen being a murderer or not? What the hell is going on?
Got it. Okay, so when I was thinking about coming on this show, I figured you guys would have the kind of current events, current news cycle covered. We get into that. So it's like, all right, what's something that is kind of sinister, under the surface, as you guys like to describe what you talk about. And there's something that barely under the surface because it's strange that it didn't get more publicity because it wasn't hidden. Nobody tried to hide it. All right, so Charlie Sheen, everyone remembers towards the beginning of the 2010s, he had a couple freakouts, flip outs, and he became this kind of weird pop culture figure. And we saw that he was a bit of a Looney Tune, but an entertaining Looney Tune. There are all these stories about, and then it comes out that he had AIDS, and then
still does, right?
Yeah, still has AIDS, and that you could kind of some of the things about his sexual proclivities you could suspect.
Yeah.
That seem to now be more likely. Like, these stories about him is in court documents, his ex-wives claiming that they found strange pornography on his laptop. A lot of urban legends in LA about him having sex with transvestite prostitutes, things like that.
Yeah.
Okay, so the guy named Rick Calamaro was a guy named Rick Calamaro. When I got back from college and I was in LA, the first hotsy-totsy club I went to was called National in LA. And the guy who owned it was this guy, Rick Calamaro. He grew up at the Playboy Mansion. I think his mother was friends with Hugh Hefner, I believe, or anything. And he was an LA nightlife guy. He kind of faded from LA nightlife over the course of the 2000s. And he pops back up as Charlie Sheen's best friend / assistant at the end of the 2000s, in his crazy, highlighted phase. And Charlie Sheen also was a baseball obsessive. So he's friends with a lot of pro baseball players. I don't know if you remember a guy named Todd Zeal.
Of course.
Yeah. That was Charlie Sheen's
That's
best
his friend. What?
Yes. Yeah. So then, kind of mysteriously, out of nowhere, 2012, I think it was 2011 or 12, Rick Calamaro dies of a drug overdose. Hey, nightlife guy, supposedly, the typical story, most popular guy and so well known on the surface, and then deep inside, super lonely and problematic and all that. But over the years, a few people in LA start to kind of kick around the idea that, or at least the stories that Charlie Sheen was talking about having this guy killed.
Oh, shit.
All right, people that I knew in LA, I'm sure some of them might be listening right now or hear this. They know who they are. Yeah. And then, but you hear rumors, there's no real way to substantiate it, right? Then the Charlie Sheen AIDS thing comes out, and you also start to hear about a lot of payoffs that a lot of people in Charlie Sheen's wife, women, knew about some of the videos that he had of him with transvestites or men or a lot of other smoking. You'll see it on a bunch of stories about supposedly some videos of him smoking crack with a male hooker and having sex with a male hooker and all this stuff. Yeah. A lot of smoke. A lot of fire, right? Then Lenny Dykstra. You guys familiar with Lenny Dykstra?
The Mets.
Nails.
Okay, nails. So another, but even if you want to talk about kooky guys who revealed their psychosis and how weird they are after they were outside of the limelight, Lenny Dykstra, known as kind of a con man, a fraud, gets in a lot of business trouble, and he pops up as a Charlie Sheen associate a little, around the time he announced the AIDS thing, maybe within a year or two before or after. Then, and I don't know how this wasn't a bigger story. I think it was maybe 2018. There's a Hollywood Reporter interview with Lenny Dykstra that is fucking nuts, completely nuts about Lenny Dykstra's, but essentially talking about his friendship with Charlie Sheen. And in it, he says a number of things. Yes, a lot of confirmation. Yeah, Charlie Sheen got AIDS from a transsexual prostitute and had sex with all these men, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. But also that he admitted to killing Rick Calamaro.
Oh, damn.
That's, once again, not what I said. That's what Lenny Dykstra said, just in case anyone's barking up that tree.
That's not coming from him. He's quoting what somebody else said.
Exactly. And so he says, I think he said that he kind of parroted that what he said was that Charlie made sure that Rick Calamaro got a hot dose, I believe it was.
Shit.
Yeah, and the suspicion was that Calamaro was aware of the videos, knew about the tranny prostitutes and this and that, and Charlie Sheen had him offed.
Very LA.
Wow. Very LA.
Wow, dude. I mean, very LA. And you were, because you brought this up. I forgot what were we doing. I think it was a show here that we were talking about sex trafficking and all these underage kids and the pedophile from the Nickelodeon situation. And how people were arrested and then released from prison as a pedophile and then hired from by Disney or somebody else. And I was like, it blew my mind. So while I was going down that rabbit hole, Corey Feldman was accusing Charlie Sheen of sexually abusing Corey Haim when they were making the movie
Lucas.
Yeah. So it's like, bro, and again, when you hear all these allegations and, where there's smoke, there's fire, we always hear that. But it's like that type of sexual perversion, that type of, messing with underage kids and all that, it keeps it just seems to me, Matt, like this sickness is happening, and it's predominantly happening in Hollywood. It's a lot of these people that, because by the way, human beings and at our core, we're pretty effed up creatures. Like if you didn't, and I think the more power and the more prestige and the immunity you give somebody, they're gonna do what they want. Look at Charlie Sheen. Look at Epstein. Look at all these demons, and I genuinely think that they are demons. You give them that much power, clout, and all that stuff. If you know. Like, for instance, if an average person, they're out there, they're living their life, you give them all that power, you give them that shit, you know what they're going to do? They're like, hey, listen, I fucking want to hook up with kids. You do it, and you could get away with it and clean it up. So that I wouldn't put it past.
No, and also they have more buffer. It's like, you hear about Charlie Sheen as a young guy, was a big ladies' man. You're like, how'd this guy go from sleeping with all these hot women to all this, like, way less appealing sexual activity, okay? Guy did a lot of drugs, right? A lot of normal people, they don't have the buffer in their life to do the amount of fucking drugs that Charlie Sheen did, okay? So when you have that money and you have your life, your life doesn't go down the tubes because you went on a 2-week bender. You just wake up and you're still in a big house and you still have a bunch of money. You're going on more benders. Then after a few benders, you're smoking crack with a male prostitute in a hotel room, right?
Yeah.
That's how.
They probably delivered it and probably sold it to you, and then you're like, you know what? There's no girls here, and the way you bent over that counter, your ass is freaking nice. Like, especially like mine when I was in the protest stripper last week.
Great ass.
Yeah, but dude, I wouldn't put it past them. The amount of stuff that I've heard, because dude, I lived in LA for I want to say 17, almost 18 years, bro. Just going off of that sexuality and all that stuff. The first, I went to get headshots, and I'm just new. I'm a veteran. I'm freaking jacked. I go to get my headshots. They came out really, really good. And look at how connected of a web this place is, Matt. The headshot, the photographer was like, hey, you know what, man? And he kind of like tapped me on the shoulder, which it wasn't that sexual. He's like, damn. He's like, why? He goes, you know what? There's an agent that I know, really, really high up. You should go see this guy. And bro, I'm new. I'm like, holy shit, let's go. But dude, so green. No, but I'm not. This is 18 years ago. You know, Harvey Weinstein's still on the scene. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then, so I go here. It's in downtown. It's LA by Hamburger Hamlet towards the end of Sunset.
Okay.
You know what I'm talking about.
Sure.
By the Comedy Store. And I go in there, bro. I'm so freaking excited. I'll never forget. Older dude, he must have just got over like chemotherapy. Like, he wasn't doing well. He had insurers on the counter, and then I sit across from him, and he's like looking at my resume. He's like, okay. He's like, hey, just really quick, do you mind if you take your shirt off? Like, so I could. By the way, I'm not even joking, and I didn't hear him. I go, excuse me. I was genuinely like, I'm like, excuse me, and he goes, yeah, can you just take your shirt off and just stand in front of me because I want to know what we're working with. And I'm not joking. My mother, because my mother. All jokes aside, I love her to death. She would go, because I was leaving the military for this, man. Okay. She's like, there's nothing there but drugs and gays. Yeah. 100% right.
100% right.
I got off the plane. There was cocaine again. So as this is happening, and I'm back, real time, I went, oh my God. And rage filled my body. And I go, hey, whatever the hell his name is. I go, you see the bottom of my resume? He's like, yeah. He's like, what? I go, look at all my training. I'm a soldier. I go, I will fucking kill you. Are you fucking crazy? And dude, he was dying of cancer. He turned white. He's like, oh no. I go, bro, I go, this is the fucking problem with people coming and chasing their dreams because they run into people like you. And it's like that type of perversion, Matt.
A lot more, and they don't talk about it for some reason. The gay male members of the power structure in Hollywood.
What is it about? How?
They just figure, I've seen it. Listen, I haven't seen it first layer, but I've seen it kind of like, all right, knowing the people and like, wait, that guy seems to have these young, nice, pretty boys around his office pretty consistently for no reason. They are teasing. They're teasing that they will accelerate your career. These people, kids move to LA. They're in a tough spot. Like, you're staring up against what you have to push through to get to the top in Hollywood. And there's something that can get you there a little bit easier. And I see they'll tease it at first. They'll try to like flirt with you and be nice, and then all of a sudden when they realize like, oh, you're not gay and you're not even thinking about like the possibility about this, like, oh, okay, then now let's talk business.
And it's crazy how like it's no secret, bro. There's a lot like that power structure. There's a lot. Rob, you want to say something?
No,
because Rob is loud.
Because he
good
said
listener.
They see what they have to push through to become.
And
I go, I'm hearing what they have to push through. I don't want to push
it's
through.
Not like it's not a secret. There's a lot of gay men that are in power in Hollywood, and sometimes if you want to move up, you gotta look what we're hearing about Diddy and all these freaking people.
Vinny, I never told this story live. I have the complete opposite story. I was living in Dubai. It's gonna tie into my story. I was living there, and someone offered me like a
Put your shirt on.
no, yeah, a modeling type of gig. I go like, well, I need some money, so I go there, and it was an award show for sports people. I know it's called the Laurelius Award. And that year, I was 17. That year, Kevin Spacey was hosting.
Oh God.
So I was 17, prime. I was, good shape and everything and whatever. I get there, and my job was to sit down. You know, when you have award ceremonies, like you can't have empty seats.
Yeah, you have to pack.
So they put like sport-looking people on the seats, and you will sit down. People will get their award, so there's no empty seat, and then you come back.
Yeah.
And Kevin Spacey was there. We had our dressing room on this side, Kevin Spacey on the other side, and we go say hi. Nothing happened. Nothing
Trying to beg you.
He didn't try to beg me.
Oh, God.
at
You're the
all.
only one. I mean,
Well, you're,
Jesus
yeah, but
Christ.
you're saying you were in shape and you were hot. If he doesn't think that you were hot
Yeah.
and sexy, something was
He
off.
was wrong. He was off. I'm a millionaire now. God damn it.
Yeah, you weren't wearing the right thing that day.
Yeah, you weren't. You
Something
weren't.
was off,
I
dude.
mean, I was ripped. This guy wanted to hook up with me really, really bad.
Shutters in Santa Monica. That was Spacey's spot. You just hang out in the lobby of Shutters and
I
like,
was
yeah.
in the wrong place.
Oh man.
The right age, though.
Yes.